The Coca Cola 600 on Fox is sponsored by Coca Cola. Open a Coke and enjoy the race.
Summer's officially here. Collect the Coca Cola cans of summer. Open a Coke and open happiness. Riding with Tony Stewart where it's 137 degrees inside his car. And he'll get a little respite as the caution waves. For the third time tonight, a beverage can out on the track has brought us under caution for the third time.
And the one driver that hated to see that caution was Kurt Busch in that 22 car who had just made that unscheduled stop about 15, 18 laps ago, far from being the first driver one lap down.
You can always take the wave around.
That's right. There were 5 cars one lap down. The first of which I believe was Regan Smith. But any driver who is 1 or more laps down can elect not to pit and pull up behind the pace car. As long as all the cars ahead of him on the lead lap do pit, they would be in position to be waved around on 1 to go. The good news is you get a lap back. The bad news is you don't get fuel and fresh tires on this caution.
But he was almost 2 laps down. So he saved 1 by that caution. Now he takes the wave around. He should be back on the lead lap for a little while until he has to make his pit stop.
Correct. Regan Smith is the free pass. Now Kurt Busch was on pit road at lap 159. So that's just 12 laps ago. Larry, that might be a worthwhile gamble.
Well, I think it definitely will be for Kurt Busch. I also think since we probably only got about 20 laps on our tires, you may see some drivers go with just right side tires. Matt.
And that's what they were discussing in the 17 at Kansas. He says his car a little tight on this run, but very pleased with how the racetrack is coming to him. Dick.
Bottom left of your screen, going to make a minor chassis adjustment to the car. Hasn't said anything more about the engine. Steve.
Carl Edwards gets a drink, Dick. He says the car is just a little bit light on the nose. They're going to adjust with air pressure and wedge. Krista.
Brett Keselowski talked about wanting 2. Paul Wolf, the crew chief, said no, we have to go with 4. Keselowski said he was a little bit free at the start of that run, but then got tight. You see a bunch of guys did take 2, including Jamie McMurray.
Marcus Ambrose leads Jamie Mack off the pit road, then Juan Montoya and Matt Kenseth. While we wait for the green flag, stay tuned for a sneak peek of Warner Brothers Pictures' Green Lantern in brightest day and blackest night, and in theaters June 17th.
The Coca Cola 600 on Fox is sponsored by Warner Brothers Pictures' Green Lantern in theaters June 17th. 255 miles in a 600-mile marathon, NASCAR's longest race, and glad you're with us this Memorial Day weekend and time for an AT&T race break. We've had 8 leaders, 3 different lead changes. And the day started as any holiday weekend with the military and those of NASCAR spending some time. The heat we talked about, sun should set within about 25-30 minutes, but affecting everybody, not just the drivers. And Carl Edwards getting past the pole sitter Brad Keselowski, and he led 80 of the first 100 miles without a caution. Then Jeff Hammond, 2 cautions slowing the pace in the next 100 miles. A nice move by Joey Logano.
Yeah, that was a great move right there by Joey Logano to keep from getting into Bobby Labonte and to be able to continue on his way.
It's been a year of first-time winners, and we've had Regan Smith, Trevor Bayne, Marcus Ambrose hoping to do that for his first Sprint Cup career victory. Long way to go. He leads Jamie McMurray out of Joplin, Missouri, who started 35th. He won the fall race here looking for his first win of the year. There's another story here as tornadoes leveled the neighborhood he grew up in, his family in North Carolina, but he says he'll do all he can to rebuild as he heads back towards Kansas next weekend, Missouri. Right now, hoping to do well in this race, currently running second.
Currently running second. Yes, Jamie's got a very big heart. He's trying to rally a lot of people to try to help those folks out down there in his hometown. But as you see up on that front row, you see a lot of guys that are looking to try to break into victory lane for the first time this season. So you look and watch Marcus Ambrose on this restart. He's one of those Fords that have been strong all night long. Wants that first win, especially for Richard Petty Motorsports.
And Matt Kenseth, who's running 4th, has led the most laps so far. Let's take a look at today's current standings for the fastest. Texting the car number that you think will do the best. AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, getting faster with 4G. Let's rejoin Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Joy.
Chris, 7 cars took the wave around. They're at the back of the pack. And Clint Boyer had a long pit stop with the hood up. Ready to go back to green. Marcus Ambrose, Jamie McMurray bring them down for the green flag.
See Kevin Harvick in that 29 car, the 3rd car on the inside, been well outside the top 15. One of the drivers that elected to try just 2 right side tires and get that track position is Jamie McMurray, and the one wants the lead here going into 3.
Harvick's car, he's been complaining about it pushing like a dump truck.
Whoa, and Ambrose got all out of shape. McMurray's the leader. Kenseth lurking in 3rd. Montoya right behind him, and Harvick. Mid-pack on the restart. Ryan Newman really mixed it up, going outside through 1 and 2 to pass about 4 cars. Here he is with teammate Tony Stewart as his wingman, and they settle in behind Dale Jr., 15th and 16th. Denny Hamlin opposite Harvick. This is 6th place. Right behind them, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards.
I believe that Denny Hamlin car, the 11 car, I believe the engine's okay in that bad boy.
Yeah.
He seems to be able to pass people.
Looking at the scoring monitor, I think he's in good shape. I think it was that 99 car of Carl Edwards made him think he had something going on with the engine.
Probably when he went by him, it shook him up a little bit.
Edwards now 8th. You're riding with Kyle Busch in 9th. And Paul Menard trying to get underneath the Chevrolet of Montoya. Steve?
Mike, they took 2 tires for track position. Juan Pablo's saying this car is tight when I land on both ends, and that's where I need the most help.
Wow. Whoa. I don't know. Maybe Paul's bad foot slipped off the gas pedal there or something, because, man, they went by him on both sides.
Kevin Harvick back to the gas off turn 4. Could not take 6th from Menard.
You know, something had to happen to Menard over there off of the corner, though, because the car was fast, and all of a sudden those 2 guys just split him. I do think he got loose or something happened.
Hamlin, Montoya, 4th and 5th. And Jamie Mack's about to have company for the lead. His rearview mirror is full of Matt Kenseth.
Kenseth's on a tear, man. That 17 car is hooked up.
Well, we talked about him at the top of the show. We feel like if you get 2 wins in these first 26 races, it will probably put you in great shape to be in the chase with the 2 wildcard spots. If you win 3 races, you know you're going to be in the 2011 chase.
Matt Kenseth is a guy that he feeds off. Oh, got trouble with McMurray blowing up.
Blowing up behind us.
Caution. And Jamie Mack.
What's your water valve?
With a lot of smoke out the tailpipe.
I mean, it kicked the rod out of it, Bono. It didn't get hot. It kicked the rod out of it or something. It was huge, whatever broke. We're done.
Winner of 3 big races last year, Joplin, Missouri's Jamie McMurray has his hope for today's race go up in smoke.
Yeah, I saw fluid coming out the tailpipe, so it's catastrophic.
Kevin Mannion, his crew chief, they're done.
And Mike, those 7 drivers that took the wave around, more notably Kurt Busch, that gets him back on the lead lap.
Ryan Newman will get the free pass on this, the 4th caution flag of the night at lap 181 for Jamie McMurray.
There's just 26 cars on or 25 cars on the lead lap.
Let's go back to those wave around cars while we have a second before pit road opens. They included Ricky Stenhouse, Brian Vickers, Casey Mears, David Gilliland, Kurt Busch, the 09 of Landon Castle, and the 32 of Mike Bliss. They took the wave around, did not pit under the last caution, restarted tail end. Now they're locked back on the lead lap.
The wave around is when cars that are in front of the leader when the caution flag is out. If those cars stay on the track and they're at the tail end of the lead lap, then when the leader comes back on the racetrack, those cars in front of him are allowed to go all the way around and come up to the rear of the field. It cleans up the front of the field for the restart.
Right.
Puts the leader as the leader, not a bunch of cars in his way.
Now, pit road was closed. However, Greg Biffle came down anyway. Wonder if that's still that driver cooling issue that they're wrestling with 140-degree cockpit temperatures. You got to stop when you can.
No question. That's what they're doing. They're not worried about tires. They're definitely filling it up with Sunoco race fuel. But the reason they pitted early, they want to take advantage of every caution lap they can here. The penalty is started to tail in the longest line. Doesn't matter. You were going to be there anyhow making this change. This is a good move to do this and do it now.
They better get that box changed. I can tell you that, because that boy's been on them.
Jamie Mack dumped a lot of fluid from turn 4 down the front straightaway. So it'll be a bit of cleanup here. That is the 6th engine failure for Earnhardt Childress Racing engines in 2011.
But most of those were with the carburetor restrictor plate back at Daytona in February. So there's some concern about the other ones, and there's about 7 others in this race.
Always like what Kenny Schrader said when they asked him what happened. I don't know, but one of them real important parts in there broke.
Mike, I don't think we'll see a lot of action on pit road. We've only run about 6 laps, but guys that got the wave around and at the back of the lead lap cars, starting with Dale Earnhardt Jr., no-brainer. Come to pit road, get some adjustments.
Matt.
And Jimmy Johnson says his car is just way too free up top. Lost several spots in that last lap. He needs to run better on the bottom. Chad Knaus brought him in. Air pressure change on the 48. Steve.
And Matt, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been trying to recover from when he got loose on a restart laps ago. Let's go back to Krista.
Steve, Jeff Gordon's team made a lot of adjustments on the last stop, but it's not the balance he's worried about with his race car. It's the radio. They're swapping out the antenna, hoping to have better communication in the 24 pit.
Thanks, Krista. Another long stop for Clint Boyer.
Well, they're making a
Jimmy Johnson
chassis adjustment, but these guys here are having a terrible time on pit road. The 48 guys are. That right front guy, I don't know what's going on.
I know exactly what's going on, but I think Steve can tell us.
Yeah, they're trying to make a camber adjustment, Larry Mack. They cut an air duct hose on that 33 so they could adjust the camber. That car has been a handful all night.
And in simple terms, camber in the front wheels is how much you lean it in at the top on the right front. Helps the car to turn, but the downside, it'll start making the car loose or actually wear the inside of that right front tire out.
Well, we talk about taking big swings and making aggressive adjustments. That's pretty aggressive.
Yes, it is.
183 of 400 laps complete. Matt Kenseth, your leader.